Okay, so today we are milling out a church parking lot, and tomorrow they're going to try to begin paving it, but unfortunately they have been having some complications out of the milling machine. I believe that the teeth went dual, so they had to call out the mechanic to replace those because I think it dug too deep into the ground. But nonetheless, they got a lot accomplished. There are 4 trucks, and it's like a 5-mile commute to get to the asphalt plant where we are dumping out our loads of milling. So it's about maybe a 15-minute round trip. And you also have 2 quin axles on the other side of the backhoe there. That's a backhoe right there, and got a skid steer, aka Bobcat, on the other side of that backhoe. I wish I would have recorded earlier this morning when we first got here, so I could have shown you all just how rough of shape this parking lot was in. I mean, it needed to be paved badly, and I don't think just resurfacing alone was going to be enough. Got the cleanup crew right there. They load up any remaining they wanted to use a triaxle to go around the curb because these quads and quints are a lot longer, and it makes it very challenging for both the milling machine operator and the truck drivers to stay on course. So a lot of times when doing parking lots, those smaller trucks like triaxles and tandems are a lot more practical and convenient because they can squeeze in those tight gaps that the larger trucks struggle to fit in. Parking lots be tight. You got 2 quints on the other side, so like I said, I'm in the quad, so he'd rather my pops, who has a tractor right there, to get around those curbs while on the milling machine, but now he's in the straightaway. Gonna pull up just a little bit. I think one beat means stop and 2 beats means to go. And he's gonna keep the bed position where the milling lands, not too far up front, but like a little bit like between the front and the middle towards the back. But you don't want to really load too far up. Like he has a dog box in the bed. You want to load in the front of the dog box. It's going to pull up. again, one beep means stop, and two beeps means to pull up a little bit. But when you pull up, you don't want to pull up too much, or you might pull away from the milling machine. Look at all this milling. That's got to be about 40 loads right there. But they all come from different jobs, not just this job. I think total, this is my 4th load, so between the 4 of us, we probably dumped out up somewhere along the lines of 18 loads. It's a lot of milling, a lot of material. PTO. That.
that big truck that the backhoe got caught on the boards. He back on now. He getting that milling now. It's just his darn second load today. Been out here for almost 10 hours. Actually, that big truck is not cut out to do this big parking lot. This is the church up there. Big parking lot. But anyway, we getting it. Jay getting ready to get on next. He's gonna get on the machine next. We're gonna take this strip right out, not all the way to the road, but about along where Jalen's back in at, where it stops at, and we'll have it all milled out all day. Took all day to do it. Now,
right now we are milling out the final stretch, which leads from the entranceway from the main drag to the church. Look at all this traffic. It's ridiculous. They sent us to the wrong asphalt plant, so now we are going to the Blythe. If you are unfamiliar with the area, it's about normally what would be a 20-minute commute is now probably a 45-minute commute to get to the other Blythe plant. But we are on the clock, getting paid, and I'm gonna take my time getting up there. Asphalt plant. Today we are going to be paving that same parking lot that we milled up 2 days ago. Actually, yesterday it didn't start paving yesterday due to some unknown complications that popped up, and the inspectors wanted for them to mill out some 6-inch deep patches. Therefore, they had to postpone the paving until the next day, which is today. So hopefully we will be able to get a full day in. I think there are going to be 6 trucks paving, and whereas we had 4 trucks hauling out millings. It took so many loads of milling. It was a short haul. We are actually at another asphalt plant. It's about maybe 10 minutes farther. Unfortunately, we couldn't haul out of the other plant because they got a big job going on hauling out of there today. So they had to cut down on trucks. But nonetheless, we are out here getting it in. Alright, I'm the next truck to go on the scale. Before I get loaded and already bought, I'm always going to make sure that my tailgate latch is locked. Alright, they are on channel 4. That is our way of communicating. It says, go to the silo with the red flashing light, which is, I guess it's going to be silo 3. I don't haul out of this plant all the time. So as I ease onto the scale, I'm going to see where the silo's located so I know where it will drop out into the truck. But right now I'm gonna give him my drop number and how many tons I want to haul. OTW3 is on the scale. Asphalt experts. Church Road and the church in Garner, I'll take 15. Centipede. also rare to see. Ooh, this truck is heavy. 29,560 pounds. Empty. And with, let's see how much diesel. Alright, I just received my first drop. I think on this, at this particular asphalt plant, we will be receiving 2 drops. And I'm only carrying 15 tons because they don't want to direct the ground. It's extremely soft where they're milled out at in that church parking lot. And to prevent from deteriorating the ground any farther, they want the trucks to be as light as possible. Therefore, all trucks are only going to be carrying 15 tons. That's it. Alright, I'm going off the scale. Some of these scales are very tight, so you want to be extremely cautious.
Turn left onto Chapel Hill Road.
And entering and exiting, you don't want to scrape the side wall of your tires. The scales here aren't too tight, but I've been on some where you don't have that much clearance, and a lot of trucks end up losing their caps, puncturing the side wall of their tires. A lot of it comes to negligence, so we got to be careful. Right now I'm gonna get out and get my asphalt ticket to give to the inspector and paving superintendent or foreman, and then I'll see you all when I get over to the job site. Load number 2. Combined almost 30 tons. Got some T800s coming on in here. I love them. I love some T800s. They look so good. When you clean them up, them trucks look good. People sleep on them because they assume they are older trucks, even though they still make them, but they look so good. Here comes another T800. This is one of the, name of this company is Splice Construction, and this is one of their company fleet trucks. They have since upgraded to newer Max, but those KWs look good, sharp looking trucks. Those T800s are, that's a Quinapsa right there. They are stocking the asphalt plant with aggregate material that they are probably getting out from Wake Stone in Knightdale, North Carolina. Got the Ford LT 9000 on the paver. I love me an old school Ford. And they are pushing him in a straightaway from the entrance up to, yeah, I'm the next truck to dump. I'm gonna get in a truck and pull up real quick. So I'll put this bed there. See that branch? I'm gonna put this bed down a little bit. You gotta watch out for tree branches and power lines. That's a good driver right there. Beat the horn and let them know. to the back of the low boy. All in all, I think it came out looking great considering what they had to work with, because in actuality, the milling crew really needed to mill down to the stone, which is 6 inches deep all the way across. But the owners of the property were not trying to spend that kind of money. I mean, it would have cost them nearly double for the milling alone. So they went the cheaper route. And sometimes when you go the cheaper route, what you get isn't always what you want. But this paving crew was able to make up for that, and they did the absolute best that they possibly could. But unfortunately, like, due to, if you look at my milling videos, I'm going to upload some more just to show you all how uneven the surface was, because you saw some spots where there was dirt and others where there were like patches of milling, and the surface was just so uneven and lopsided that even when on the paver, you could feel, you know, while being pushed, you could feel it just rising up and rising down, because the ground was so unlevel. It's crazy. And it wasn't neither the paving crew or the milling crew's fault. It's just that the money wasn't there to complete the job as it needed to be. I mean, it costs to do jobs like this, but I think that they did a exceptional, phenomenal job, again, considering what they had to work with. If you see it, because they actually wrote it some more and to compress the ground, I didn't record that kind of, I didn't record everything. I actually had to get out of there because I had another a side job I had to do. I had to go haul one of my private customers a few loads of stone. Therefore, I was unable to record the finishing result, but it looks good. The only thing is, I was talking with the paving foreman, and he's very picky. He wants for his work to be top notch and impeccable. He doesn't want any, like, the seams from the lines to be showing. But again, unfortunately, there wasn't really any way of avoiding that, because they were paving on top of a uneven surface. I mean, you saw the ruts in the ground. In fact, we only could carry 15 tons, because any heavier than that, we risk deteriorating and rutting the ground up. So they were trying to avoid making more of a mess. Actually, the milling machine almost got stuck, because he hit some dirt, and he was I guess he was unaware of it, but he was able to save it. That ground was soft. You couldn't tell. It looked solidified on camera, but there were spots where it was extremely soft. So we had to take our time, and I mean, the process, it took they were trying to get it done in one day, but that was impossible. So it took 2 days of paving, and they have to do the back cab of that parking lot. I think they're gonna probably start doing that in the next week or so. But all in all, I think they did a wonderful job considering what they had to work with. It costs. I mean, I understand, because if it was me, I want to do it right the first time to prevent from having to pay out money in the future. But sometimes when the money isn't there, what can you do? I mean, the parking lot, it looked horrible, but not overly horrible. I mean, I saw it when I first got there. I should have recorded, but it wasn't bad to the point where it needed to be resurfaced. I mean, I don't think that it sees that kind of traffic. I mean, I know a lot of people attend church, but there wasn't like any deep holes that could damage your car unless you were just, flying through like an idiot. So it looks good. It looks much better. Don't get me wrong, but it could, I mean, had they done it right, because this paving crew does great work, outstanding work. A lot of that job, I mean, it looks, you can't see no lines, everything's smooth. it looks that good. But this looks good, don't get me wrong. But again, if you consider what they had to work with, and as a truck driver, I experienced it. Hey, I don't think anybody else could have done any better. Not in 2 days. Not in 2 days, because they are booked. They got other jobs they have to complete. So they did their thing. In those 2 days, they did their thing. The milling crew did their thing. For the money, what you pay for is what you get. And I don't think that too many others could have done as great as a job. But I'm about to provide a few more clips to show the before and aftermath. So a lot of companies actually prefer to use smaller trucks, such as tandems and tri-axles, and sometimes single axles on jobs like these, because they are much more suitable, especially when there are a lot of tight, cramped in spaces, and it makes it extremely difficult for larger trucks such as quads, quints, and in some cases centipedes to squeeze in, especially for instance, like when doing some driveways and backing around houses. It's just impossible for a long truck to get positioned where they want the material to be dumped out at, and those smaller trucks can just get in and out without much trouble. So there have been a lot of instances where on jobs I haven't even worked, because they choose to have my, like, if it's slow, for instance, if it's a slow week, they'd rather use my pop's triaxle than my quad on certain jobs, because it's just too tight. And sometimes they don't want a lot of weight. Like on this job, they really wanted to just use triaxles. They didn't want to use quads or quints. That's why we carried 15 tons. But even with the 15 tons, our trucks weigh more than that of the triaxles, and all of us had steel beds. And one quint had a enormous bed. I think he purchased that truck from some up in Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. So just because someone has a smaller truck doesn't necessarily mean that they can't succeed, because like those triaxles, tandem triaxles, even single axles, you can make, if you know how to find the right kind of work, you can make money. People assume that you need quads or quints, or the bigger your truck, the more money you make. Yeah, the rates might be higher, but it's all about how you are connected. Like, for instance, my pops, he can take that triaxle and run circles around me. He can take that triaxle and make, if I'm doing good in a week, he can take that triaxle. It's all about who you know. He's been in the game for a long time, so he can make way more money than that of I. I have to work day and night to make what he does, working, I might have to work 7 shifts to make what he does in 4 to 5 shifts. It's all about knowing how to find the right kind of work, because again, people prefer to have those triaxles and smaller trucks on certain jobs. They don't want a lot of weight on it. Like, it might be tight. They don't want a lot of weight. And in some cases, they're not trying to, ain't no need for it to carry 18 tons on certain jobs. Because why use a quad or a quint when they're going to want to get quad and quint money carrying triaxle weight? Hey, that's how it is. So it's all about the weight laws, your DOT bridge laws. I know in some areas they don't use but tandems. I think in Georgia and in Florida, they mainly run triaxles. So it varies. But here, you see vast majority quads and quints all over the place. I mean, all over. That's what most people are buying, quads and quints, because the rates are much higher. Well, they are higher, especially for DOT work. But if you know how to find the right kind of work, you can make just as much, if not way more money with a smaller truck. So it's all about who you know and getting connected. And that's all I can say. But with that being said, I am not going to officially end this video. I will see you all on the next one. Again, you're on the way with your boy Jay. I'm outie.